Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Pretty good, sir. Sam & Max Freelance Police is almost complete. Yeah, that's great and all, but scrap that. We're dropping the point-and-click adventure genre as a whole, and we're gonna make everything about Star Wars now. Oh, and...
Did I ever tell you about Ahsoka?
So you've likely heard of Telltale Games given you clicked on this video, but did you know they're back? July 27th, 2023. Where were you? Probably doing more important things than playing The Expanse. Yeah, after an over 4-year hiatus, Telltale released their first game based on a TV series of the same name, The Expanse. Now I know absolutely nothing about the original series and would have never have known of its existence if it weren't for Telltale, to be honest. I was just on the lookout for the next Telltale game. And to see them make their untriumphant and silent return with a game based on a TV series I've simply never touched was kinda disappointing. Why not come back with Batman Season 3 or something? That series ended off on a cliffhanger. Could they really not secure the rights to Batman a third time? I'm sure DC would have been open to it given they allowed a third party to port the Arkham games to Switch recently, but that's off topic. The point is, Telltale is finally back and literally no one's talking about it, and probably for a good reason. To put it into perspective, their first gameplay video posted on February 18th, 2023 got 300,000 views, around that. While that doesn't sound bad on paper, if you go onto their channel and filter by popular, you'll see that's a huge fall off, especially given that this game is Telltale's big return. I don't think any of the big gaming YouTubers have made a video on it. But wait, it gets worse. If you look at their complete series trailer, that only got 17,000 views. Definitely not a lot, given this company was huge in its heyday. Before their shutdown, Telltale got to work with so many different IPs, including Jurassic Park, Batman, Guardians of the Galaxy, freaking Minecraft, and of course The Walking Dead. Arguably their most popular and well-received series. So what the heck happened? I can't be the only one who thinks it's absurd that a company can secure so many IPs yet fail so terribly, right? Well, the tale of Telltale is a long and complicated one. So in order to understand the full picture, we'll have to go all the way back to 2004. In March 2004, LucasArts decided that they were done making niche, risky adventure games, as they're seemingly putting all their effort and attention towards Star Wars. This led to numerous layoffs and 2 game cancellations. Full Throttle 2, along with Sam & Max Freelance Police, both got axed. While Kevin Bruner, Dan Connors, and Troy Melander weren't among the layoffs, they felt as though the studio's new direction wasn't it, and these cancellations were whack. So in July 2004, they broke off from LucasArts and started their own company named Telltale. Fun fact, Kevin Bruner was the one that came up with the name, as they envisioned the company making games that would continue producing the adventure style of video games they did with LucasArts, but now doubling down on the narrative aspect and on their own, hence telling a tale to the user. The expression allegedly had nothing to do with it. Interestingly, Telltale Games had a rough start for a number of reasons. The more obvious reason was that Telltale wanted to kick off with a Sam & Max game, as they figured that series had a somewhat dedicated audience, so it would sell decently, thus funding future projects, but they ran into a big problem. LucasArts still held the rights to Sam & Max games, so they had to wait until mid-2005 for LucasArts' deal to expire, when Steve Purcell, the creator of the Sam & Max series, quickly offered the rights to Telltale. I assume they were friends or something. Obviously, a video game company can't just not make video games for a whole year, so to keep themselves busy and funded, Telltale started with a bunch of little games sprinkled here and there. Their first game, Texas Hold'em, was released in early 2005, and as the name implies, it was a poker game that took place in a tournament held in Las Vegas. Alright, this game honestly looks like one of Scott Cawthon's early animations.
Good morning, Maxwell. Okay, Maxwell, what are my reasons for getting out of bed this morning? 1, you don't have anything better to do. It's true. And 2,
but it seems to be a serviceable poker game functionally. Not like that's all that impressive, but still. Oh, and apparently this game was enough of a success that Telltale made 2 other poker games. Poker Night at the Inventory and a sequel to that game. How's Poker Night at the Inventory any different than Texas Hold'em, you may ask? It features Tycho Brahe from Penny Arcade, Max from Sam & Max. This game was released in 2010, so they had the Sam & Max license by now, and yes, bad decisions were made.
Look at what I've become! You did this to me!
Strong Bad from Home Runner, and Heavy from TF2. What? Yeah, the only real reason I see how this was a success is because of the Valve partnership. Not only with Heavy being in the game, but you can actually win TF2 items. Yes, Telltale was a precursor to EA. Brushing aside Telltale's poker phase, let's get back on track. Now, pay attention to this next game.
Well, that's about enough of that. Ted, dear, I think you'd better leave. I'm gonna tear this little fella apart
from the inside out.
While it looks insignificant on paper, it foreshadows the future of Telltale. Bone, out of Boneville. Telltale used this game to test their episodic release method, where the game would be sold, and they would gradually release episodes after some time. Now, Bone got canned after 2 episodes, but they saw this formula is good enough to bring back for their next title, Sam & Max Season 1. Okay, wait, I actually made a mistake here. Bone out of Boneville is actually just the name of the first episode of the Bone series. Episode 2 of Bone was Bone the Great Cow Race. For some reason, they're treated as standalone games, but really they're episode 1 and 2 of a canceled Bone series. Well, not really canceled. Telltale said that they would continue developing them as they grew, but they lied. Yeah, like 20 years later, they obviously kept using this formula for a number of reasons. The most obvious one, and likely the main motive, being that if a game doesn't sell well, then Telltale can just abandon it, as we saw with Bone, and later we see them half-ass game endings as with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Peter, what fun I am having. Oh, the blood! It is everywhere, even in my mouth.
Let's turn the main hallway into a freaking forest. Oh, here comes some Creed, and yeah! The flowers are eating them alive. Oh, too bad you can't see this, Pete.
One final important thing to note around this time is that Telltale was using these games to test their in-house engine, the Telltale engine. Now, Telltale would go on to use this engine for their entire lifespan. They never swapped it out for something else, and it limited themselves a lot. Now, I don't really want to go over every single game and do a proper overview of how their quality deteriorated over time. That's pretty much what every video on Telltale does. So to save time and get to the part you likely clicked on this video for faster, let's go over the sales numbers, guys. Right, so I actually couldn't find the sales numbers. Surprise, surprise, Telltale didn't exactly post those, but on the Wikipedia page, it did say that The Walking Dead sold a crazy amount within the first couple of a very short time period, so that goes to show you that game was a success. You probably didn't need me to tell you that. People just like fighting zombies, and I mean, it can't be that hard, right?
Yeah, you zombos are about to get it now. Who wants some BXRB?
Yeah, The Walking Dead, it was a massive success, but more interesting game Telltale made because it was an actual original IP, I think, was The Wolf Among Us. Another success, 14,000 players all-time peak on Steam. This was basically a detective game, kind of like LA Noire from Rockstar, but Telltale-ified. You know, you make the decisions. It was pretty cool. Tales from the Borderlands, judging from the Steam chart, wasn't as successful, but whatever. I hear more negative things about this game. I want to say it's the worst one besides Guardians of the Galaxy, at least from what I hear. And yeah, they made a Game of Thrones game. Apparently this one wasn't that good either. Again, haven't played this one. 6,000 all-time peak. Okay, wow. Hopefully now you're starting to see the decline. Just jumping past Minecraft story mode, Walking Dead spinoff, and Batman, we get Guardians of the Galaxy, and that is a huge fall off. Holy crap. Yeah, this one was bad. I don't remember anyone liking this game. I did not enjoy my time with this one either. This, alongside Batman, really hammered in that the choices you made in these Telltale games kinda don't matter if you think about it. I remember this one scene, it was one of like the first scenes. The evil lady is like threatening you if you take a step forward, and he's gonna kill Gamora. And then she doesn't kill Gamora. She just kind of like grabs you with the force. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of dumb. Like, at least get us a ragdoll or something, geez. Nothing happens no matter what you choose in the interaction. And the game is riddled with pointless decisions like that. And same thing with Batman. Batman was a bit more severe, I'd argue. I enjoyed season 1 and 2 of Batman more than I did Guardians of the Galaxy, and judging off the Steam chart, a lot of other people did as well, because, I don't know, I guess Batman just has a wider appeal. But with Batman, I had a bigger problem in my opinion. There is a lot of fights with Catwoman in this game. And even if you do every single quick time event correct, you won't win a single one except for when she's injured. And if you decide to fight her when she's injured to get like a suitcase, Alfred scolds you for it. I'm like, oh my god, it was annoying.
Okay, Alfred. I was just leaving.
Miss Kyle came to you injured, vulnerable, looking for help. Injured, vulnerable, looking for help. Looking for help.
You are not leaving here with that.
Oh, honey.
Move, John.
And I think that goes for pretty much every character you fight in this game. Even if you win, the game kind of already decided what's gonna happen. And this is when Telltale games started feeling really pointless. Just think about that. In what other game besides PlayStation exclusives would your performance in that fight, not affect the game at all? Think about how insane that is. And with these games, Telltale was marketing them like, oh, you gotta shape the story, you gotta choose what happens, and you really don't. You know, there's like 4 endings in each one, and you'd get that in a Call of Duty, and in Call of Duty, it was more substantial. So this is just, Telltale was getting pointless towards the shutdown. I honestly, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. Okay, that's pretty much every noteworthy release covered, but none of this answers the question as to just how Telltale secured the rights to all these IPs. And the answer seems pretty simple on paper. Telltale had a dedicated attorney who handled their publishing and licensing deals, and he was basically him. Absolutely goated. In all seriousness, Telltale's lineup was probably thanks to the fact they scooped up the Walking Dead license while it was still mainly a comic book series, thus less popular and easier to obtain. So when other companies saw they handled that series, companies likely became more keen on lending out their IPs to Telltale. That's my running theory, at least. All speculation based off info I could find, not saying that's what happened for certain. Okay, so now we're pretty caught up on the Telltale timeline. Let's discuss their silent return. So Expanse only ever had 601 players peak on Steam. Yeah, this launch was pretty pathetic, but what did everyone expect? This got like no advertisements, and it's based off a TV series which ain't all that hot to begin with. The trailers don't exactly paint the game in a bright color either, looking like budget Dead Space so soon after the actual remake's release. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh on the Expanse, given it's separated from the actual TV series. Apparently it's a prequel by 3 years. The trailers don't look that interesting. You've been seeing them this entire time, been playing them in the background. Let's check out Telltale's website. Experience the exciting universe of The Expanse, a canceled TV series like never before in Telltale's latest adventure, The Expanse, a Telltale series. Follow Kara G, who represents her role as Kamina Drummer, and explore the dangerous and uncharted edges of the belt aboard the Artemis. Okay, right away, I'm so confused. How is this appealing to anyone who isn't already a fan of the TV series? Does The Expanse, a Telltale series, follow the books or the show? Oh, okay. Telltale's website just doesn't work. It won't tell me. I'll never know. There's a standard $40 and deluxe $45 edition of the Expanse of Telltale series. What is the difference? Yeah, I'll never know because their website doesn't work. I'm clicking where the PC requirements. No, all right. I can't play this game. Sorry, guys. This game was just cursed from the start to not succeed. Needless to say, Telltale ain't doing so hot. But we do have The Wolf Among Us Season 2 coming eventually if Telltale doesn't decide to dip again. And there are some rumors going around about that Stranger Things game. So while from a practical standpoint, Telltale's future ain't looking so hot, but from a potential standpoint, I do think it's entirely possible that The Wolf Among Us 2 will be good, and or they can secure a license to Batman for Season 3. I'm never letting that go, damn it. Okay, wow, thank you. You made it to the end of the video. I know this took a long time to get out. Hopefully it was worth it. Yeah, overall the Expanse ain't that interesting. I'm hoping Telltale gets their act together, and the main thing I want is Batman Season 3, really. I think I really drove that point home in the video. Again, thank you for watching, and if that subscribe button is white, you're doing it wrong, click it to make it gray. And have a nice day.